Welcome to my underground lair. Some of you I know, and some of you I am meeting for the first time. I'm hiding from the coronavirus down here, so let's get some updates on some key corals, and let's take a tour of the basement, because you've only seen a little bit, so I'm gonna show you the whole thing. If you're new here, my name is Remy, and this is the Bahama Llama Coral YouTube channel. If you'd like to support the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever I upload new videos. If you've been watching the channel for a little bit, you've seen this angle, but you haven't seen this angle. Welcome to the basement. This is the living area of the basement. And as you can see, there's a lot more room for maybe some more tanks, perhaps? Here's the couch. These are pillows. This is an expensive painting of Chicago that we haven't hung up yet. So in this storage area, this is where I mix my salt. You can see I've got my 20-gallon brute and my 10-gallon brute, an RO system, and it's all in this little spot right here, mixed in with boxes. I'm sure I can utilize this space better, and I've got this giant 150-gallon tank right here that I can always fill up with RO, but I really haven't gotten around to setting up a whole entire mixing station yet, so we'll definitely do that in the future. Here's the bathroom, here's the toy room, and if you come in here, we've got a nice little guest bedroom down here / workout facility. Down in this living area, this is where you're gonna find the Frag Tank and the Lagoon Tank. These are my two main systems right now. And when we moved from Chicago to St. Louis back in 2018, the way that the move worked out and the timing of closings and everything, this is where the Frag Tank ended up, and it has not moved since. I had to ask the homeowners of this house before we moved in, before we were set to close, if I could set up my tank in their home. And they graciously said yes, and I cannot believe that. It is not advised that you do that if you are selling your home, but they let me, and everything worked out. Nothing burned to the ground, no floods, so it's all good. A lot of people ask me why my main display or my largest system is a Frag Tank. And again, going back to the move, I had 3 tanks set up at our house in Chicago, and instead of dealing with 3 systems and moving 3 entire systems across the state, I ended up just converging all of them into one tank. So the rock from a previous system is in the sump, all the corals are obviously in the Frag Tank, and some of those have now been dispersed to the lagoon, but we'll get into that in a little bit. I'm not gonna go into specifics on equipment because really nothing has changed since the last update video. I don't think I've added any major pieces of equipment since then. The only thing that's really changed is the amount of coral has kind of fluctuated in and out as I've done a swap and sold some things. But I've had specific requests for updates on the fragged Scully and also the Weeping Willow mother colony, so I'll give you an update on both of those. Here is the reverse bleeding apple Scully that I decided that I was going to chop in half. Now, one of these pieces looks pretty good. It's almost fully round again, almost ready to be fragged again, and the other piece, the smaller piece, is still alive, and it is just growing at a slower rate. It looks like it's healthy, it looks like it's doing well, and I'm sure that if I took some extra time to feed it and target feed it a little bit more, that it would do a little bit better. I was actually thinking about moving it to the Lagoon Tank because everything is doing so well in the Lagoon Tank as far as LPS goes. So I might move that, I don't know yet, but it's just growing a little bit slower. Should I cut this larger piece again? That's the question that I have right now. So we'll see what happens on that. I definitely am not gonna frag the smaller piece. Both pieces are still alive, which is good, and one of them is flourishing. Now, the other request I got was for a Weeping Willow leather coral update, and I actually did a full review on that and a full update a couple weeks ago, so check that link out above and in the description below, and you can see right now that it's doing really, really well. All those new polyps are coming in, the clownfish are happy, but the only thing that is different is that I do not have any more frags of it. I have 1 frag left in the lagoon, and I'm gonna keep it. So what's the future of this frag tank? Well, I'll tell you this. I really want to replace it with a large, proper display tank. I'll still keep the frag tank, but it'll do what frag tanks do and go in the back room, be disregarded, and grow nuisance algae like a good frag tank should. I'm totally kidding, but it would be nice to just have this area for display tanks only, and I can put a frag tank somewhere in one of these storage rooms. I mean, you've seen this living space, so there's plenty of room down here. I just have to convince the wife to make the entire basement a gallery? That's pretty far down the road, but I'm dreaming. Say that. Before we move on to the lagoon though, I would like to take suggestions on a company I should go with for the new display tank. I know that there is a lot of companies out there that do custom tanks, from customaquariums.com to Planet Aquariums, there's Waterbox, there's Red Sea. What company do you think I should go with when it comes to a display? We're still pretty far away from me purchasing that display tank, but it's nice to start getting a feel for good quality display tanks. All right, let's move on over to the lagoon tank, because this one has probably changed the most since we last updated. I've had a couple questions on filtration. I just have a media basket with some of the provided like filter floss ball thingies, whatever these are. I'm running some Chemi Pure Blue and some filter floss, and really that's it. I've got a heater back here. This is a 100 watt heater. It's the True Temp setup, so I've got that. I've got the Hydor Celts D500 return pump. That is an upgraded pump from the Innovative Marine. And then I just have this display filled with a growing collection of corals. I've gone so many directions with how I wanted to do this, and I've talked about this in other videos too, where I was just gonna do a softy tank. It was just gonna be shrooms, zoas, leathers, easy stuff. And it really still is easy stuff, but there's a lot of LPS in here. There's some Euphilia in here now, and a gold torch, and another gold torch, and I think it's actually ending up being what I first anticipated it to be when I dreamed up this little lagoon tank, which was just straight fire pieces. Corals that just popped with color. You know, those corals that just fluoresce. And that's what the lagoon tank has really turned into. Going around the tank, I've got a Zola Garden here that has been doing really, really well. Coming up to the torch, and this is from OSA, and it has really taken over that spot in the tank and is just doing really well. It's super happy right now. Coming down to this gold/yellow hammer that I got from my buddy Tyler, or Inland Reef on Instagram. And behind that you can kind of see it's probably the most drab coral in the tank, but it's like a brownish minty green mushroom that just actually split. I've got these cool lords right here. Not super rare, but I just love that kind of tealish orange color combination. A Japanese deep water toadstool that I got from marinefarmers.com. The weeping willow from my tank. I think this might be a jawbreaker mushroom, but I'm not 100% sure. I've got a Superman mushroom, or at least that's what Worldwide Corals called it. This is probably one of my oldest corals in this tank. I've had this mushroom for 4 years, and it has never given me a baby, ever. So I'd love for that to happen. This is a green weeping willow toadstool, which I really wouldn't put into the weeping willow category, but it is a long polyp green toadstool. This really cool Lord colony that I got from my local fish store. Again, not super bright, but just unique. So this is an Aussie gold torch. It has been through so much, and I recently moved it into the lagoon tank, and it has just started flourishing. So I'm hoping that it will fully recover and come back to its glory that it once was in the frag tank. And then I just recently picked up this Indo gold torch here. It's very, very small, but I got a good deal on it, and I'm pretty excited to see that one grow out as well. And that's all under the Radion XR15 Gen 4, which I probably won't be upgrading to the Gen 5 anytime soon. This couch down here is really stupid big, and it was in our old house, in our old living room, and it just didn't fit upstairs, so we brought it down here, and it just consumes the entire basement. Would be cool to rip up the carpet, put down some tile, maybe that wood-looking tile, and really make it like a gallery down here. I think that would be cool. Again, gotta get approval from the wife. Again, not sure that's gonna happen, but she has given me at least free reign for this little space down here. And I really like having a sink. Anybody who has a sink in their reef keeping space knows how valuable they are. Definitely gonna have to replace that one. The saltwater has done its fair share of wear and tear on that sink. So if you have any ideas for the space, go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. I'd really appreciate it. If you like the tour of the basement and the Llama's lair and my underground coronavirus-free basement, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification below so you're notified whenever I upload new videos. I wanted to say next week, I've got a very special guest that's going to be joining me on the channel. She is someone you might know. Super knowledgeable in the hobby. Really excited to have her on the channel next week. In the meantime, osachoice.com for all of your coral needs. A great partner of the channel, Ocean State Aquatics, or osachoice.com. Also some dry goods, and you can keep up with the YouTube channel and the new mega store that I am super excited to visit whenever they get that done. So if you haven't checked it out yet, osachoice.com. Statistics show that the second time you say like, subscribe, hit the bell notification to see when I post new videos, statistics say the instant you say that, the second time, people tune out and they're gone. But you're not. I appreciate you for that. Still hanging on. I see you. One day I'll figure out how to find you, and I will reward you because I have a very particular set of skills. Like so few skills that they're just a very particular set. So you actually have them too. It's reef keeping. You've got those particular skills. Okay, just go watch these videos. Go on, watch these videos.